Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of our Journey podcast series here, where we hear from community members across the incredible Anaplan community. My name is Dennis Lemoyne. I'm the Director of Customer Engagement and Experience here at Anaplan, and I am thrilled to be joined by my old friend, Philip. Hello, Philip. How are you doing?
Thanks, Dennis. I'm doing really, really good, actually.
I was going to say, right? Why don't you let the audience know where you are today? Where are you right now, currently?
In the very south of Portugal, where it's warm and sunny
Oh, you're doing
in
you're doing the
March.
best, right? Yeah, exactly. That is the best place to be in mid-March right now. I have to tell our audience too. Philip and I have known each other for a little while now. We actually partnered on a wonderful session focusing on Polaris a few months ago, and I would encourage you, if you haven't had a chance to see the recording, to please swing by community.anaplan.com to check that out. Um, Philip, let's get started. I love to kind of kick things off by hearing from you. What was your first introduction to Anaplan, and how did you get started in the Anaplan ecosystem?
That's a long time ago. I think, yeah, it was 2015.
Yep.
I just had joined Tata Steel,
Mm.
a huge steel company in the Netherlands, as did we call us, a commercial project manager. Basically, it meant we were internal consultants helping the business to grow, to do all kinds of things within. And then my focus was mainly on sales, marketing, these areas, but also a little bit in supply chain. And I can still recall it very, very well. I was working on this project around pricing at the time. And at the time, my boss just came into the office and said, like, okay, we're doing also this sales planning implementation. We have this platform called Anaplan acquired. I think it might be also something for your project. And I was like, yeah, sure, okay, let's try it. So I got a model builder license and a kind of a crash course on a Friday afternoon where my boss was just like showing me, yeah, so this is how you create a model. This is how you build a list. This is how you build a module. I had no idea what I was doing.
Yeah.
Literally no idea. And then I got started. And it was very, very, very different back then because at Tata Steel we had also a very strict internet policy.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So I couldn't do really the level one and level two and everything because everything was, I think, on Vimeo or YouTube back then.
Sure. Yeah.
And all of these websites were blocked. And
So,
so I was sitting with my phone watching the video and then trying to do the same thing in Anaplan. So
oh my
it
gosh.
was very different.
Yeah.
I'm quite, if you see where the whole academy came to and where it is now, it's such an easy thing to do that these days.
It's been a long journey, yeah, and I mean,
So
Anaplan's not the quickest, easiest thing to do. So having that dumped on you on a Friday afternoon as a crash course, I can only imagine what was going through your head those like sort of the initial time when you're diving into Anaplan for the first time.
yeah, I think so my boss back then, he was quite a visionary, and I think this is also why we got started with Annaplan in the first place. And I had a little, or have a little bit, just the same character. And the
Hmm.
first thing I thought was like, oh, this is cool. This is massive. I can kind of throw in so many things into a module. And then quite quickly I realized, well, there are also limits
Sure,
that you can
sure.
reach.
At that, yeah,
At the beginning, I really just thought, this is cool. This is something I would like to
yeah,
get myself very deep into.
yeah. The initial reason your boss came to you, what was the initial the solve you were looking for with Anaplan where he was like, we need to utilize this? Could you dive into that a little bit? Tell us a little bit there.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I said Dr. Steel at that time, I think it was early 2015, end of 2014. The platform Anaplan was really, really different back then.
Mhm.
But we got started with sales planning as a process to replicate in Anaplan because another vendor there was a hole kind of in the wall that we had to fill. And and this is kind of where it came from. And we then, my boss was also quite quick with building things, and he used it really as an Excel on steroids. So, oh, this Excel, this thing, we can build it. And I was trying to build something in Excel, to manage prices, to go with account managers for different kind of steel categories, and I gave them also insights on, yeah, this is your price portfolio, you're benchmarking against others, in a certain way, and then there should be a feedback loop. So there's also an account manager would then define the price portfolio for them, for their customers. Something that sounds very easy, but in Excel it's really hard to build. And where kind of we looked at it, I was like, yeah, let's try to build it in Anaplan. And I think I was sitting there it took me forever probably, but because I did not really knowledge, it was a nice little model that
Yes,
just helped quite a lot of people actually. So
absolutely.
we had from sales planning already, I think 200, 300 people,
Mhm.
account managers
Wow.
in Anaplan, and that just like was another thing that they used or
Mhm.
started to use.
Incredible. Talk to me a little bit about sort of the next steps for you, how long you were there, and maybe some other, problems you were solving for with Anaplan. I'd love to hear kind of the next few years of your life after that initial Friday afternoon dump on you. What happened over the next couple of years with you? Yeah.
A lot has happened since then.
Great.
The first thing that happened was we went a little bit into Anaplan hell
Oh,
because it was so easy and so quick to build new models. And
yeah.
as at that time, still, I think even Anaplan sold it as the Excel on steroids.
Yeah.
So at some point, we just had created, I don't know, 30 models for all kinds of different little use cases. Half of them were just really, you could call them proof of concepts, uh, on a quite a shaky ground. So I can't recall what exact year it was, but at some point we did just decide, okay, there's great value in this platform that we have here. There's great value in the models that we have built, but we need to structurally improve that and kind of create processes around it. And that's why I was asked to run a center of excellence. And and it was at the beginning just what our one model builder and me, kind of two people,
Got to start
and
somewhere. Yep.
that again escalated a little bit because when I left 2019, we were 10 people
That's incredible.
just focusing on Anaplan. Some of
Yeah.
them internal model builders, some of them external. So we had a good portfolio, but on the average, it was about 10 people working purely on Anaplan models and topics. And that was just, yeah, we saw great value in it. And we still did kind of sometimes small ideas that we just replicated in our plan. But overall, we had a whole connected planning ecosystem built.
Yeah, talk to me a little bit about how you were building out that COE. It's starting with you and one other person, and then in a few years, it's moved to 10. What was that process like for you? Were you learning a little on the fly? How was community and Anaplan kind of helping you bring that together, and how did it make it happen? Yeah.
That's actually also quite a nice story because um, I I knew that I couldn't do it myself. Didn't have the knowledge. I never had run a center of excellence. My background. I'm not sure if I told you, but my background is mechanical engineering.
Oh,
I
well,
had
that's
no
good for us
I
to know, Philip. Yeah, I mean that's over here. You were okay, sure.
I had no association with IT at all.
Yeah.
So I needed to learn, and I needed kind of a community, and I needed to kind of other people to help me through this. So I got quite strongly engaged with the user groups at the beginning, just attending some of them, going to the hub, what was it called, hub back then, and just trying to learn from others. And at some point, I thought this is so fun. I even was leading for quite a long time on the Benelux user group, because I think still in everything that we do today, or generally do, we learn as a community much better than often by yourself. And especially when it's such technology, new technology, people don't often realize the value of just, hey, let's go on YouTube, let's go to the community, let's go there and just typing in something. Oh, this is nice what this person did. So let's contact this person. Let's learn more.
What
This
was it
is
like for you, Philip?
amazing.
Yeah, I love to hear that, and we hear that a lot. And talk to me a little bit about what that was like, kind of jumping into the Anaplan community, because it's big, it's vast. There's a lot of different folks involved. You jumped in head first. You're leading a user group. What was that like? And we'd love to hear a little bit about sort of your initial first impressions of other community members and maybe folks along the way who were helpful.
Also, yeah, I mean, it's, how should I say, when I started kind of trying to get in contact with people, the community was not that large.
Yeah.
I think we're talking about 2016 or so. It was overseeable.
Yeah.
You knew the people that were working with Anaplan.
Right, right, right. Very different. Yeah.
It was also not so easy to find new people if you want to kind of, okay, now I want to ramp up my center of excellence. Let's hire some Anaplanners.
Right.
Not so easy to do.
Yeah.
But there are a couple of people, and I need to mention here as well. One, Liz de Geus, she's now a colleague, but we kind of just started to get like chat. We were both customers. And then all of a sudden, yeah, we had, I think, a user group at the office at booking.com. And this is just where you see so many different angles to maybe the same problems. And yeah, a lot of the people I still have contact on a regular basis. And it's really nice. Now today, I think the community is so vast that it's difficult to know everybody. But from
It
the time like 2016, I know quite a lot still.
That's incredible. Yeah, I know one of our community members on one of these podcast series with us. One of the other episodes was mentioning how friendly the Anaplan community is, which was very. They were not used to that, given other communities out there. And I'd love to hear a little bit about your transition. You said, by 2019, you had a COE with 10 folks involved. What was the next step in your career? Where did you head to next?
Yeah, so in 2019, two things happened. We were living down almost 5 years in the Netherlands. So
Incredible.
also maybe I haven't mentioned it, but from my accent, maybe you can tell, but I'm originally Austrian,
Yeah.
not German.
Yeah.
But we lived in the Netherlands, and then at some point we thought, okay, it was a nice time living in Amsterdam. Let's move to Sweden, where my wife is from.
Yeah.
And so it was a natural decision to also leave Tata Steel. But I also was wondering back then what would be my next step in my career.
Yeah.
And because I really enjoyed working with Anaplan, working in this ecosystem, is that, yeah, I joined a partner in Sweden
Right. Yes.
to help other customers having the same experience.
What was that transition like, going from the customer to the partner side?
A bit challenging at the beginning.
Sure.
I think I was quite ambitious, and I had to realize that not every customer has the same drive. And I think that has also become more and more with the Anaplan way becoming really the methodology. It's Anaplan is today seen much more as really an enterprise solution, not just a Excel on steroids. And with that, also the expectations are often quite differently. So a customer wants to buy a good platform, a working solution, and not just yeah, an experimentation platform or ground. You can maybe burn down some things sometimes. So I think that has changed in this apartment. We are then, of course, always in the situation that we need to deliver the solution in a given budget, which is often not always the case when you're an internal model builder.
Correct.
Time is a little bit more flexible then.
Absolutely. I'd love to hear sort of where you see the future for you, Philip. Are you loving being on that side, on the partner side? Would you ever be a customer again? What could be next for you? What's on the horizon?
That's a good question. That's a really good question. Right now, I must say I really enjoy it. There's so many, let's say, if I've seen the steel business inside out. And since I left the steel business, I started to realize how many other very interesting businesses are out there. And that's, I think, the main thing that I enjoy the most as a partner, that you get to see so many different, yeah, products or
Yeah.
customers that do things where like, oh, of course, yeah, somebody needs to also build that. I don't know.
Right. Yeah. I know. That's one of the things that I've loved over the last 3 years of my time with our incredible community and learning about Anaplan is all the different use cases, all the different industries that it touches. There's things, to your point, you don't even think about, these little things that are so huge in our daily lives that we just take for granted. But of course, there's businesses out there taking
Yeah,
care of
yeah,
that. Yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
It's
amazing.
and it just had this also realization a few weeks ago. We just started a new project with a customer that is in the concrete business, and right now we're building a model that is all about bumping concrete and kind of transporting concrete. And it's like, oh yeah, that's also something. And then, like the day after we kicked off the project, I just looked out of the window from our office, and there was this huge truck
Hmm.
bumping concrete, and then you said, "Yeah, this is what we're building. This is what we're planning here."
It's amazing. Um, I would love, we've just got a few moments left. I'd love for you to tell our audience members, folks who are new to Anaplan or just starting their journey in our ecosystem with our community, um, any sort of advice you might say to folks who are at the beginning, where you were on that Friday afternoon.
Uh, yeah, what should I say? I think the the key driver for me was always was curiosity. So I still find it so interesting how features that I know inside out, how they can be often differently used. So just be open to learn. But I also think it's sometimes what I forget and again is that yeah, there is often this huge use case that everybody talks about. Yeah, we want to build an FP&A solution, etc. But it's often not those that create the massive value. Sometimes really small things that could give you like lots of people in your organization much easier life, and to be open then to just spend a couple of hours to understanding these use cases and maybe building them in a few days. That's, I think, also something I would give advice to be always open for.
That's incredible. Philip, I just want to say thanks again. Always a pleasure talking to you. Hopefully, you'll invite me to come over to go on vacation with you in Portugal next time you go there. Little disappointed that that didn't happen this time and we had to do it virtually. But thank you so much. Always incredible to hear folks who come from the customer side and then join the partner side, and of course, highlighting our incredible community. Thanks so much for tuning in, folks. Of course, if you're ever looking for information, you know exactly where to go. That's community.anaplan.com. And we'll see you on the next episode. Thanks so much.